Cultural anthropologist Ernest Becker spent his career investigating the human problem of death awareness. Awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 1974, The Denial of Death is a culmination of his life's work, a synthesis of the wisdom of the ages. Once referred to as one of the few great books ever written, The Denial of Death formulates what has been considered to be a science of humankind, a broad theory that attempts to explain why we do the things we do.
Ernest Becker appeared out of nowhere.
Ernest Becker, fairly early in his career, developed a sense that what he wanted to do was sort of bring together a lot of the knowledge that was being accumulated in the different social sciences and even the humanities as well.
That led him into an exploration of the writings of the ages.
He said, I want to understand very broad questions about what it is that underlies human behavior. And Becker's position was if you take that quest seriously, then you can't confine your inquiry to any particular discipline. He said that big questions require wide-ranging scrutiny and that no discipline should be disqualified from active consideration. What he insists is that the human species solved the existential problem of death by utilizing the same intellectual skills that, in an odd way, created the problem in the first place, and that's our vast intelligence and ability to think in abstract and symbolic ways in the service of constructing and maintaining what he calls culture.
For Becker, culture is a collective fabrication, a shared set of beliefs about the nature of reality, developed to help us deal with our death anxiety. Culture provides meaning and helps us to maintain a sense of security in an unsure world.
Death has always been an enormous fear in every culture and every time, and much of cultural arrangements have to do with ways of coping with this fear.
Our cultural conceptions of reality have evolved in order to help us deal with our knowledge of our own mortality.
All around the world, we take part in activities designed to remember the dead. Remembrance is one way we deal with the brevity of life. Here one moment, gone the next, but never forgotten. With the advent of photography in the 19th century, families would often pose for photographs with the corpses of their loved ones, as if the dead were still living. Physical mementos with images of people were rare. The postmortem photograph provided families a means to remember their loved ones as they were in life.
When we look at history, at least, it seems very clear that from as long as it can be recorded and across cultures and across vast amount of time and space, that death denial seems to be rather central to all cultural constructions.
We cannot be human without living in culture. We are meaning-hungry creatures as human beings. We require meaning, and whether we talk about it or not, we're always living within meaning, whether it has to do with family or some kind of work or country or goal. It may and usually is rather unspoken.
Culture provides meaning, first of all, by giving us a sense of where we've come from. Every culture that we're aware of does have some account of the origin of the universe.
Some people believe that in the beginning of all life, a god created heavens and the earth itself. This god then populated the earth with various creatures, but gave dominion to humankind.
The Fulani tribe in Mali believes that the earth was created out of a giant drop of milk, And I think that's quite nice. And the thought is that when God was getting things going, there had to be some sustenance for the original creatures. And so the earth started that way. And then the Yoruba in Nigeria believes that originally the earth was just water. And then at the moment of creation, God came and put a silver or some kind of metal plate on the water. And then on the plate, he took a snail shell and turned it upside down and filled it with dirt, put that on the plate. And then he put a rooster on the plate next to the snail shell. And as the rooster pecked the dirt out of the shell and it hit the water, that formed the continents as we know them. And I think that's quite beautiful.
Buddhism does have a creation story, like the other great religions. It's found in the Agana Sutra. They don't talk about a particular point of time when the universe began. Rather, you get both in Hinduism and Buddhism the idea that the universe has been going on for an immeasurably long period of time, where world systems are created and destroyed, and you really can't trace it back to the very beginning.
While creation stories provide the members of a collective with a sense of meaning, it is roles within those cultures that give individuals a specific and personal sense of importance.
Culture helps us out by essentially giving each of us a roadmap that gives us prescriptions of acceptable action. All cultures have social roles with associated standards of valued conduct, the satisfaction of which allows you to perceive yourself as a significant individual. But it's only through a culturally constructed sense of reality that we know what it means to be a valuable or an important figure. And so in American culture, if you can stuff a rubber ball through a metal hoop, you're a genius, and we can pay you many millions of dollars. But there's other cultures in which that would be considered quite worthless. It'd be better if you could throw a sharp stick through a fish's head. And so culture really gives us opportunities to feel valuable.